All right, Zero. So we are at the end of the podcast, but as always, I have a question for you.
All right.
Zero. We did it a lot. We did this episode was streams, and we did have some. We had some interesting stories, but I think these took precedent. So maybe we'll get to those stories next week. But anyway, the question I have for you is this: what is the most memorable press conference or stream of all of them? What is the one that you remember the most? What's the one that wowed you the most when it happened?
It's hard to really put down one that really wowed me the most, but maybe as a concession, I can offer up one that really sort of felt surprised the world the most.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say that would be the Nintendo Switch announcement. Because of course, just we all know how the Nintendo cycles are. Just everyone claims that they've got an inside track. Their uncle works at Nintendo and all this other junk. And everyone had claimed that they had an inside track on what that they claimed they knew what Nintendo's next big system was. And of course, just Nintendo did this presentation, just floored a lot of people in the world because I remember leading up to the official Nintendo Direct for the Switch, one of the big things that was leaked was, oh yeah, it's going to be a hybrid portable system. And of course, everyone was just like, what the fuck does that mean? And of course, just there was a lot of curiosity on it. And then of course, when the Nintendo Switch trailer just dropped and they just show like a guy just kind of waking up, playing on his console on the TV, and then noticing, and oh shit, it's like sometime in the morning. Okay, I got to go walk my dog. Literally, just yanks his console off the dock, and then just goes to the dog park to walk his dog and whatever. And then he's kind of playing on the bench. I just remember the world just collectively just kind of losing their mind. They're just like, oh my god! Just when Nintendo said portable hybrid console, they really did mean portable hybrid console. Holy shit.
I know, it was exciting too, because we just got over the Wii U, which was a dud. And before that announcement, I think it was for a year, they didn't release anything on the Wii U. It was officially dead. They just stopped production on every game for it and said, we are not wasting our time. We're moving on. So they needed to actually wow people with the next console, and they did it. They did it with the Switch, absolutely. How about a negative one?
Ooh, a negative one? Oh, God. The PS3 initial announcement, especially because it was so damn expensive, and everyone's just like, ooh, it's going to cost that much? Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah. That's the famous one that you'll mortgage your house in order to get it, or something, or you'll have two jobs in order to get it. You'll want to work two jobs in order to get a PS3. Was that the quote that he had on stage?
Yeah, I believe that was the quote. Ken Kutaragi had said, just you'll get two jobs just to buy this thing, or something to that effect. And it was really completely out of touch, especially with consideration that PlayStation had earned a lot of love during the PS2 era, and they were completely just already squandering it away with just a system that was just really expensive. And as a longtime video gamer, the first thought I had was just, oh my god, is this the Neo Geo all over again? Because sweet god, this looks like the exact same setup as what happened with the Neo Geo.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, my positive and negative. There's a couple. There's a runner-up I want to give with positive and negative, and the runner-up is from the same year. The negative one is the Xbox One reveal, the Xbox One conference, where they showed off everything, and like 3/4 of it was TV and multimedia, to the point where everyone was like, okay, is there any games for this thing? So there was that. And that led to the famous quote from Don Matrick. If you're in the military and you want a gaming system, we have an excellent one for you. It's the Xbox 360. Yeah, that was great. And the positive one, the runner-up, is is the PS4 announcement the next day, where they not only showed just games, they also undercut the price by $100, and it was just fantastic all around, and it literally, that conference cemented like Sony's place in the entire generation. It just showed everyone, like after everyone watched it, it's like, oh yeah, Sony just won. It's like, let's just go home. Sony won. It's over.
Yep. And then to put salt in the wound, Sony ended up really just laying it into to the Xbox conference, because of course during the Xbox One conference they were saying that games would physical game disc would have some sort of digital rights management system that the discs would need to authenticate to the Xbox servers and everything. So the concept of even being able to loan a game out to a friend would be a complete headache, that you would have to somehow deregister your game off of your Xbox One console, and then at that point your friend would have to then register the game on their console, and then they would be able to play it. But then if they were to return it to you, they would have to completely do this and all this. And Sony just really put salt in the wound by, at the end of the PlayStation presentation, going, yeah, here's a tutorial on how you loan games to a friend.
I remember that.
And it was literally one of the PlayStation execs handing the disc in a box to another exec. I was like, ooh, wow, that is a spicy burn. Oh Jesus.
Yeah. It was great. But man, did they earn that one. Man, that was great. But that's my runner-up. I'll start negative first. The one negative one I remember the most. Remember PlayStation Experience?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember when they had Final Fantasy VII in the PlayStation Experience, and people were going bonkers because, oh my god, the remake is here! Oh my god, people were crying, people were yelling, and they announced a port of the original. You had people who were just like dumbfounded, going, "What just happened?"
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so bad, but it was so funny. It was Sony not reading the room correctly, and it was hilarious. But then,
yeah, what a nightmare situation right there, Jesus.
But then on the flip side, when they finally announced the remake, and the reaction that got was insane. Like, everyone was excited. There were some people who were like, oh boy, I don't know about this, but a lot of people were like, oh my god, it's fucking happening. And this was after what? Weren't they saying like 3 years after Final Fantasy VII they were going to remake it? Like,
yeah.
Like something crazy like that? So when they finally did it, like, that was like over a decade of people hyping that shit up. When they finally did it, there we go. And I'll bet you money, the PlayStation Experience is what made Sony say, oh fuck, we gotta give Square Enix all the money to do this right now. So, God, I remember that. It was so funny. Oh man. But yeah, those are my favorite moments, or my favorite and least favorite of the conferences. Hello, everyone, and thank you for listening and watching this podcast segment of the Capital Games Podcast. Me and Zero thank you for clicking on the video and watching. If you want, we have another video on the screen right now where you can listen to if you are interested. We also want to let you know that we do a movie podcast called the Capital Games Movie Club. This week, we are reviewing A Beautiful Mind. Last week, we did V for Vendetta. So if you're interested in either of those, or any of our opinions on the movies that we have reviewed, go ahead and click on it on the screen right there. Thank you again for listening and watching. I hope to hear from you next time. Bye now.